Live from the top of Painkiller Towers, it's a Decoding the Silence edition of Business Pants. Joined as always by Emma Lurking the Third. I didn't realize that your dad was named Emma Lurking too.
Me either. This is news to me.
And Matt, he must be guilty of something. Come on, look at him, Mascardi. Yeah,
That's right.
I'm microwave cheesecake. Really, think how gross that is.
That is
Come on.
disgusting.
Is
Can
there
we not be
microwave
that?
cheesecake?
Me. I am Emma. Are you
Oh,
listening?
sorry. Right. Sorry.
Jesus. In today's Monday flavored bag of nuggets called May 9th, 2022, we finally found
question?
someone who was willing to comment on the end of abortion rights in America.
Who?
Well, I guess us. We're going to comment on it. And a game that features the longest serving CEO on Wall Street. Why? Why do we do these things? Why are we doing that, Emma?
To
Why are we playing that?
torture our listener.
I suppose so.
I like all of Emma's games, so I don't. Whenever she says I can do a game on blah blah blah, I'm just like, yeah.
I
care.
I prefer all of Emma's predictions. I wish we just had every day Emma predicts
I
something.
can start doing daily predictions if the people.
Yeah, but then I have
so
nothing to look
choose.
forward to on Friday. All right, come on,
People,
let's get to
weigh
it.
in, people. Weigh in.
Do we have a timer on our long-winded discussion? Do you want to just go? You ready?
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's just go.
All right. Hopefully, people know this. Last week, the supposed ruling on Roe versus Wayne's
Wayne.
Roe
Roe and
versus
Wayne.
Wade. Good, I could laugh at this. The
I know.
supposed future
Death
ruling,
of human rights is funny.
which will overturn Roe versus Wade, was leaked. Of course, they don't know who it was leaked by. It's not really important. So here's what the three of us did this morning for 2 hours, which I think is why our voice was raspy, because we were getting a little heated. We're discussing why the hell haven't corporations weighed in on this? They weigh in on everything. What's with the silence? And we went around the track many times, which I hate because I hate running. But we got to this point, which I know sounds simplistic, but I don't care, because this is the point I'm going to share, is that I think this is finally proof of the fact that most corporations are just run by dull white dudes, right? Like I know this sounds really stupid and simplistic, but I think this is where we landed, really, right? Because there, and I'll throw it out to you two. I can't think of another reason why they wouldn't weigh in on this. Like, this has always been the cornerstone of our human rights in America. This is the one thing this is like the bellwether, right? Like, this is like, we're not going to get rid of this, right? Like, this is the thing. Like, a woman's right to choose her freedom over her own body is the one thing that we all
No.
Okay, go ahead.
It's never been the one thing.
Come on,
All
it,
right.
it has been.
I think Emma could probably attest to the fact that there's enough men who objectify women in the first place to know that it's never been the thing, right? But look, it is a wall. It is like a tsunami of white men who run companies in America. And we actually debated at length about how we were shocked and not shocked about companies weighing in here. And when we got to your point all the way back, it was just well, if you think about who's going to okay a statement,
Yeah.
right? Is it the board that is 76% men, or the CEOs that are 90% men, almost all of
Yeah.
whom are white? Are
More
they
than
the
90,
ones
more
who
than
are going to
90,
be
yeah.
like weighing in on women's rights, or are they the ones who are going to say, actually, like pro-life people buy sneakers too?
Yes,
So-
yeah, I don't even know if they think that. I don't even think they think that, actually. I think it's just that they're again, they're dull. They don't really have an opinion. They're the same people who are either would be way too afraid to go to a women's studies class and or are making fun of the fact that women's studies classes exist in the first place. I think there's some combination. No, I'm serious. I think there's some combination of that.
They're
I
all
don't
Mike
think,
Pence.
and I think that yes, exactly. I think they even if they wanted to weigh in, they fear the backlash too, because at first I was wondering if this was all because of the DeSantis Disney effect. Like maybe that blew up in a way that they're afraid of weighing in on things anymore.
Emma, can you definitively tell us? Ron DeSantis is basically a dictator in Florida. He's got both houses of Florida legislature. Whatever he says becomes law. And he's limiting the rights of anyone who would vote him out. They're redistricting the whole thing. It's really terrible.
Yep.
Did he win the war against woke corporations now that they won't speak up on Roe v. Wade?
100%. Absolutely.
There
Ron
it is.
DeSantis murdered everyone in this game.
I don't
Except the babies.
Except
Didn't murder the babies.
I can't give him. See, I'm not giving him that much credit in this because again, I'm circling back to my original point. I think it's because of who we have in leadership, not only in America politically, but at our corporations. I think this is a man problem. I think this is why they're being silent, not because of DeSantis. Because I feel pretty. My sense is that 90% of these men also believe in pro-choice.
So, first of all, it's like how when Trump got into office and everyone was talking about how he was going to take, gay rights away and he was going to, be,
right.
Anti-abortion, whatever. And people ended up making the point of he doesn't care. The truth is that he doesn't really know and he doesn't really care.
Yeah,
all he cares about is his own ego and his financial interest. So when it comes to, hiring a woman, supporting abortion rights, whatever, he's just going to do the thing that works for him in that moment. Now, where I'm with you, Damien, where I do think it is a man problem, sorry to swing back and forth a little bit, but where I do think it's a man problem, and the reason that all these men aren't speaking up is because they have actively participated in the political activity necessary in order to make this overturn a reality. They have been the ones donating to the candidates who have been fighting this battle since 1973 or whatever year Roe v. Wade was. I think it was 1973 to get this overturned. So they're gonna, if they say anything, super easy to dig up their company's donation history and make them look like huge hypocrites. So PR companies, like a headline I saw earlier today, PR companies are advising the executives and corporations to not say anything.
It's true, but Emma, that doesn't stop them in the past. They'll weigh in on Black Lives Matter. They'll weigh on climate change. They'll weigh on everything they're hypocrites about, don't they?
Carefully constructed statements and not about a human rights. And I do think there's a fear element of saying anything, but I'm wondering actually. This is the point we landed on in pre-production. To segue into the data that Damien pulled. Damien pulled data for the show. Did you know we do data here?
Every day I pull
Every
data
day we do data here.
I have a spreadsheet to prove it.
I mean, they're between the wall of white men and the employee is the head of human resources. That is the person in between, because what companies have chosen to do now is, and Marco Rubio is trying to outlaw, at least the tax deduction for it. Companies are basically saying to their employees, we will pay to have you travel to get rights to the health care you need if you can't get it in the state in which you live. So companies are like parsing this line by saying, well, we believe in the rights of our employees, so we will make accessible what they need. Now you have to go. What struck me about that was like, great, so I want to make a choice about my body. I have to call up my HR rep and make sure I can get that, travel approved by my company. That seems weird. But do we think that inside the C-suite, there's an argument being had where the dude is like, so what are we doing about this travel for abortion? And the head of HR is like, well, we've got like 50 or 60, requests from our employees to travel to states. Well, and that I'm not sure this is a good quarter for that. Can they maybe wait 3 quarters for the revenue streams to increase? And the HR rep has to be like, that babies are born, right? Like part of the problem here is it's not based on your revenue side. Do you think that argument is happening? Is it happening?
The second time I've heard that joke. Now listen.
I want it to happen. It's the first time the listeners have heard it.
Now listen. True.
Listener.
Why do we bring up the heads of human resources, because remember we predicted here that during the pandemic that the relevance of this title would grow because of the pandemic, and that maybe this was a avenue, a path for women to head global companies because of the increased magnitude of their importance, right? Because of the pandemic, and also because now we're going through a little bit of a unionization movement at places like Starbucks and Amazon. So maybe that too will magnify their presence. And so we dug into a little bit of data. You sent me an article about Fortune magazine contacted 30 of the most powerful companies in America, and to see what their response was on this, on the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And they don't have a response. Okay.
What?
Yeah. I again, like, so this is where the show started. So really maybe only 15% even said anything. But
I love that Fortune did go through all 30 and list their responses. And the responses were did not respond, did not respond, did not respond, declined, did not respond. I mean, it's like the stupidest content I've ever seen in my life.
Let me just point out some of the things I found, some of the outliers I found in the data. So I went and I collected every head of human resources to see if it was a man or woman. I went to see if they were one of the top 5 paid executives of the company. I also made a note whether it was easy to find, because some companies won't even tell you who the head of human resources is. But I also, okay, I want to let me just point out some of my favorite things I found. First of all, Bank of America, its comment was fairly safe to say we won't have anything here.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's succinct.
But this was interesting to me. We talk about how this could be a path for women to be CEOs of major corporations. Mary Barra. Did you guys know that Mary Barra was Vice President Global Human Resources at GM from 2009 to 2011? So we're not wrong here. We're not wrong here. Yeah.
Shocking, because she wouldn't meet with the union. Maybe she was personally
okay, well, that's another issue.
Maybe
that's
she was personally offended that they had a union in the first place. HR.
So I went to all 30 of these companies. Does anyone want to at least guess how many men there are at the head of human resources at these 30 companies? The 30 biggest companies by revenue.
30 companies.
According to Fortune.
I don't know. I'm going to go with 4. Emma, what do you think?
I'm going to go with 7.
That's way
Emma,
overshooting.
Emma, oddly optimistic. No, the answer was 3.
Yeah.
Although, with a caveat,
yeah.
Bill Strahan at Comcast, he's kind of the head of human resources at Comcast Cable, and I think maybe that it's also corporate. They weren't clear about that, so maybe it's
count.
2.5.
Take them out. 2.5. Take them out.
Out of these companies, how many do you think of these head of human resources are in the top 5 highest paid executives of their company, according to proxy statements? And one's going to surprise you. One's going to surprise you.
I'd be more optimistic about that.
Yeah.
I'd say like 20 to 25% of them, maybe a quarter of them.
Emma?
So what's that? 10-ish?
I was also gonna go with like 12.
Guys, again, you're being bizarrely optimistic. The head of human resources, one of the top 5 highest paying executives at a company. You're crazy. It's only 3.
Okay.
3.
Wow.
3 out of 30.
I was hoping.
But here's one that might surprise Emma. Deirdre O'Brien at Apple, one of the top 5 highest paid employees
Emma,
at Apple.
You love Apple now.
I believe that. As much as I hate to admit it, I do believe it.
Why do you believe it?
Because Apple makes such a big deal about their company culture and about
they like people, yeah.
Yeah, like they're a people-oriented company, and so it doesn't totally shock me that their head of human resources gets paid well.
Okay, and finally, I will say this, although I wish I had taken a note of this, but I'll do it in my next pass. There's a lot of blonde women who are the head of human resources.
Wow.
I'm
How
just
many
saying.
of them are they all white?
Yeah, well.
Of
out of the
course.
30, I think there's one that's not white out of the 30
Sweet.
women. But the one, only one company made a statement basically supporting their workers and saying that they're going to do something about supporting them. Can you guess? Anyone want to guess which company cares?
Oh man,
It's a hard guess.
I I'm gonna guess Amazon because Amazon
Wrong.
was a winner in greenwashing during the March Sadness tournament. They feel good to me. This seems like something they could say.
No, it's not Amazon. It's one of the 4 companies that's actually led by a female CEO, and that's CVS Health.
Yeah.
So okay, so
yeah.
that's all I could find. 25% of the companies run by women.
Well,
Yeah.
hang
go ahead.
on. Interesting though that
Yeah.
it's CVS. So one run by a woman, definitely, but also CVS is a healthcare provider in
True.
many.
Vested interest.
They have a vested interest, and they've been expanding, and they've been trying out new things on the healthcare scene. And so, like, it would not shock me if not in the near future, CVS had plans to like provide abortions for people. That would just
Here,
it
that's a
wouldn't
good-
shock
yeah.
me. Yeah.
Here's where that theory fails, actually, because we actually have a peer company of CVS in their industry with a woman as CEO. Yes, there's
Walgreens.
Matt. There's an industry that has more than one company run by a woman.
That's
it's
the real
crazy,
news.
right?
That's the real news.
Yes, Emma. Walgreens also has a female CEO, but they had no comment. So you know.
I cannot understand how the head of human resources at Amazon, which employs 1.1 million human beings, is not one of the top 5. Like they're the largest employer in the United States next to Walmart, and they're
Same
not.
Same with Walmart. Yeah.
They're not the most highest. How many people do you have to manage in order to be like one of the top 5 paid people? That's
Well, I will
absurd.
tell you this. There are only 3, so I can only count 3 men who were the head of human resources, global corporate head of human resources. I think Comcast, Home Depot, and Kroger, and one of those men is actually in the top 5. Highly paid, so.
33% of the men made it at least. All right.
I know, like, this is a really horrible way to demonstrate data, but this is what all people do now. We can cherry pick your data and make it tell a story. But this data does sort of bizarrely tell a story. Way more women, female CEOs have a comment about the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And of the men who are actually head of human resources, they're of course highly paid. So,
well, I think actually my final takeaway of this is once again, the white men will stand up and say no comment, and the women who are tasked internally with dealing with the employees will have to clean up tons of shit, tons and tons of shit, whether it's a pandemic or a basic human right access to health care. Like the team moms are going to have to do all the cleaning. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. It does seem like a position that should be in the top 5 highly paid these days.
Let's play a game that's less depressing now.
That's what I have. There's my simplistic takeaway that it's the reason why they're silent is because they're dudes. That's my simplistic takeaway. There you go.
All right.
I'm just saying. Yeah, go ahead, Emma.
Speaking of dudes,
let's play a game. So, Jamie Dimon, our friend Jamie Dimon, obviously the kneeler in chief, is officially the longest serving CEO on Wall Street. Okay. All right, Jamie, we see you. And here at Free Float Media, we honor the asshats that came before us. And the kneeler in chief does deserve something special to commemorate moving money around for 16 years as the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. Yeah. So I present to you our 16th annual, our first annual in 16 years Jamie Dimon quiz. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Number 1. Oh, thank you, Jamie.
Let's do it. Come on.
Delightful. Amazing. All right. So, number 1.
Yeah.
I have to make sounds. I have to buzz you right or wrong, obviously.
Yeah,
so
let's do it. Come on.
Number 1. What is a TV show that recently served as
Cheers.
inspiration for Dear Jamie? Oh, nice try. Option 1, Ted Lasso, Breaking Bad, SpongeBob, or Severance.
Wait, a TV show that served as an inspiration for Jamie Dimon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I saw this. It was in the
mean?
headline, and I think it's Ted Lasso. I think he was talking
What do
about
you mean
like
it
the
served as
inspirational speech
Oh.
Ted Lasso did.
That
correct
answer,
music.
yeah, that answer makes sense to me because there is kind of the effect of Ted Lasso is that kind of like whitewashing of everything's a smile, right? Everything's good,
Hmm.
right? So that seems like a Chief Kneeler kind of thing, like just shut up and be happy kind of vibe. Yeah, I'll go with
So-
that answer.
Yep,
Yes.
it is Ted
Yeah.
Lasso. So much to the degree that he
Wow.
okay,
There's so many
whoa.
bells. You got it.
Well, we finally got something right. We should
I was
celebrate it.
super right.
So much so that he baked I mean, if Jamie Dimon has ever baked something in his entire life, I would
Yeah.
truly be shocked, but it did inspire him to put together
Gets baked.
cookies in little pink
Oh, yeah.
boxes for his management team, which
Oh.
I
Wait, so
know.
he actually the story is that he did that? He went to his
Yes.
own kitchen? Oh, I'd like to see proof of that.
I
I
don't
would
it was
like video
unclear who
evidence.
did the
Yeah.
baking and the packaging and the
Oh,
delivering,
he
but he
bought
took
a
credit
nice
for it. That's for
Okay.
sure.
I'm gonna go. I have more data, Emma, and that is that in the TV show Ted Lasso, Ted did the baking himself.
Obviously, because as we
I
all know,
can-
Jamie is no Ted.
Just saying, Jamie. I'm just saying.
I'm
Jamie.
just saying, and I can currently get a pink Ted Lasso box on Amazon. That's what
I'm sure you can.
All right, number 2. What Wall Street scandal did Jamie sneakily have a hand in? 1. Twitter Elon Musk. 2. Theranos. 3. WeWork. Or 4. Lehman Brothers.
Well, the last one seems like the most logical, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna say WeWork. I'm gonna say WeWork. I don't know why.
I mean, he would have. I don't think he sneakily had a hand in it because he bought Bear Stearns.
Did he?
Like, he bought Bear, right? And he bought it super
Yes.
cheap.
Yes.
He by he, you mean J.P. Morgan?
I mean, J.P. Morgan did, but Jamie Dimon basically got it.
You don't mean
and
that
it
him
was,
and
like,
Joey Romeo
subsidized.
like
And then
got some coin
because
together.
he got that super cheap and subsidized, the Treasury Department had to basically say, we can't do that again. There was so much backlash. So in a way, he helped to kill Lehman Brothers because he got subsidized.
Ooh,
by
I like
Bear.
this.
So I'm going to go with Lehman.
I'm only going with WeWork because when I think of WeWork, I think of yellow cabs in Manhattan and like weird dudes running around with big egos.
Such a different pick.
So
Who got the bell?
that chime is actually going to be for both of you because
Oh.
while Damien is technically correct, it is WeWork. I am kind of impressed by Matt's reasoning, so he gets
Oh,
the
don't be
chime
impressed
as
by
well.
Matt.
Yes, that's
Don't be impressed
right.
by Matt.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
yeah, it was WeWork. Jamie Dimon was actually one of the earliest backers of WeWork, and when
Okay.
everything started to go under, oh sorry, good God,
so many. So
um,
Yeah.
and when the company started to, avalanche a little, Jamie Dimon said to him, "You have to think of the shareholders. You have to think of the company in classic Jamie Dimon style." And I think that's essentially how Adam Newman ended up leaving. So.
Do you think if there was like a crime scene and Adam Newman killed somebody that Jamie would send Joey Romeo in to clean up the crime scene?
You were just looking for an excuse to bring Joey Romeo into the
I just imagine
conversation.
Joey Romeo with like one of those like Clorox antibacterial wipes, just coming in with under his shoulder and just doing some. Okay, I don't know.
Or one of those like bug spray
Yeah.
buckets and shooting.
is that just me, Emma,
bleach on
or
everything.
do you also have that same vision? Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Number 3. How many times has Jamie Dimon been rumored to be the new U.S. Treasury Secretary?
Oh, that's a good one. I have heard
Twice,
that many times.
3 times, 4 times, or 5 times?
It's every time. I'm guessing it's every time a Democrat is elected. So I'm going to say.
No,
Well,
I
does that
think
happen
he was
anymore?
rumored
No,
during the
Biden.
W years too. So
isn't he more of a? I feel like he's more of a. Yeah, maybe that's true.
I
I'm gonna
think,
say
well,
3.
I
Bush,
mean, it
I'm
was
gonna say Bush, Obama, Biden.
it was a Goldman alum. It was the Goldman CEO who became Treasury Secretary under W, and they're like Dem thought. I think it's. I'm going to go with W, Obama 1, and Trump. I'm going to go 3.
Really?
So you're both going 3.
Both
Yeah.
going 3. Oh.
It is 2. It was just Trump and Biden. Both.
Trump.
Biden.
Really?
But he
Biden,
says
you
he did.
disappoint me.
He says he did not covet the job. So even if offered, he probably wouldn't have taken it away.
Okay.
All right.
baby.
And finally, the
Yeah.
best question.
Oh,
How did the New York Times Magazine characterize Jamie Dimon in a profile from 2010? The Da Vinci of America's banking renaissance, the new face of American banking, America's least hated banker, or the reincarnation of JP Morgan?
I like the least hated. That sounds like something.
least hated.
That's like language we would use. I'm just gonna go with that because I like the use of the.
I'm going to
phrase.
go with that because of the timing of the profile. The profile's in 2010, 2009 was
Oh,
when
yes.
crisis happened, and
Yes.
everybody. And this is also 2011 is when Diamond had his own London whale problem, where they got over levered and cost him $11 billion.
Pre-whale, post collapse.
Pre-whale, post-crisis winner, Jamie Dimon, least hated.
I almost didn't include the year that it was from because I was afraid that you guys would know enough that it would give it away. You are correct. It was America's least hated banker.
How do
know
they
my
have?
Jamie Dimon.
Where's the proof of that? Was this New York Magazine?
New York Times
New
magazine.
York Times magazine.
Oh, New York
so yeah.
Times. Where's the proof? New York Times. I thought this is like real journalism. How do they
Oh,
know
it
he's the
was
least hated?
a
How do they know
lengthy
this?
profile.
Stop
It was.
New York Times.
It really.
Call me-
Oh yeah.
New York Times. I do data every day. Call me. We're gonna talk because you have
I
no.
do
You
data.
can't print that as journalism. You have no. There's no basis of knowing he's the least hated.
That
dare
is
you.
the least hated host of this show, Damian Rollis,
That's
and
not true.
the second least hated
Hmm.
producer of the show, Emma Lurking. I am the most hated participant in the show, Matt Muscardi. We
Maybe.
are Free Flow Media. If you like this, come back tomorrow where we'll do more of it. And if you don't like this, come back anyway. We'll see you then. Goodbye.